Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I will be ranking every Godzilla movie from worst to best. Now, for those of you that don't know, there are 38 Godzilla movies, so this is going to be a longer video. I've done a video similar to this where I tier ranked all of these films, but it's a different style of video, and I wanted to, make a more definitive list that really gives more of my personal opinions on the movies. But you all should still definitely go check out the tier list video. It's one of my earlier videos since starting the channel, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with number 38, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you all. I've never seen this movie. Like the whole way through. I think I've maybe seen like the first 10 minutes. I actually think that's it. Um, I just can't finish it. It's so terrible. And worst of all, it's just boring. I mean, a movie that is boring is the worst type of movie, and that is unfortunately like that's just what it is. Like it suffers so much from being boring, and I can't find myself like ever wanting to watch this movie, and it's just the biggest letdown for what could have been a really cool movie. I mean, come on, like Godzilla in animated form should be amazing. There are no limitations to what he can do, yet he is just the slowest and most boring he's probably ever been. Luckily, though, they fixed this with Singular Point, which I find to be a much better representation of Godzilla in animation. Number 37, Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. Again, another just boring Godzilla movie. This anime trilogy was just such a letdown for me, and I find this one like a little better than its sequel, but like, it's not much better, and it's just as boring. Um, and like I've yet to watch this one the whole way through either. Like, I just can't get through these movies. Like, the reveal at the end is cool, I guess, but I mean, the only problem is like I've never even made it through the entire movie to see the reveal at the end. So there's just it sucks. The animatronic is really bad. Number 36, Godzilla the Planet Eater. Who would have guessed? The entire anime trilogy would be my bottom three. The finale to the trilogy, I do have to admit, is like a step forward. It's not a major one. It's really just a minor step forward. Um, but I do think it's significantly better than the previous two. This is the only one I've finished the whole way through. I mean, it's still very boring and a terrible representation of Godzilla, but at least this one has a couple things going for it. Like Void Ghidorah is pretty cool, I guess, and like I mean, he just reminds me a lot of Galactus, so I guess that's cool. But other than that, like that's all that's going for it. Number 35, Godzilla's Revenge. The worst of the live action Godzilla films. Like this movie just sucks. Like I was recently reminded of this after a rewatch, and like the rewatch was just as bad as I remembered it being. Like if not worse, which really disappointed me. The only good part about this film is like Gabara, who is just so like lovable. Like I don't know, Gabara's just fun. Like um, but I always find myself like rooting for him to kill Manila and the child. Is that bad? Should I be worried? Probably not. I think most of us want Manila dead. Oh, and you want to realize just how bad this film is? Okay, explain the plot to someone who has never seen a Godzilla film before, because it's honestly embarrassing. I had to do it the other day, and it was like I was like embarrassed for myself admitting that I watched this movie the whole way through. Number 34, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Seriously, I hate this movie. Like, in my favorite era with a bunch of films I feel did no wrong, this is the ugly duckling of the bunch. Like, I find Space Godzilla to be very lazy and underwhelming, and I'm not a huge fan of the Godzilla design either. Like, it's like the weakest in the Heisei era. Um, and the film is two strong points for me. Really, that's it. And it's like Mogira and the soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack is great. The space vibe is super cool. That's all it's got going for it. So if you want to listen to the movie, then sure, let's have fun. But that's about it. It's the only reason that I ever like watch this movie and it stays in the rotation. Number 33, Godzilla versus Megaguirus. This is the first movie on this list that I don't necessarily dislike. It's not like I like it, but like I don't like dislike it, you know? It's just meh. I like the designs of Godzilla and Megaguirus, and I like Megaguirus as a monster. I also like the fight scenes. This movie just has like the worst plot of any Godzilla movie in the franchise, probably. Like it's so it's boring. Like the human stuff is just terrible. And I mean, other than the final fight, like it just lacks of substance, and there's just no reason to go back and watch it again. Number 32, Son of Godzilla. This is the first Godzilla movie on this list that I actually like will watch and have no real issue with. You know, like, I can sit through it, and I find the characters to be the strongest point of this film. Like the humans are great. I love the human plot and the way they interact with the monsters and how it all feels like cohesive. It doesn't feel like I'm jumping from one like from the humans to the monsters. It just feels like I'm like watching the island, and all of this is just happening on the island here and there, and like it's all just comes together. I like how you can see the monsters just casually walking around in the background while the humans are doing their thing, and same with the you can see the humans walking around while the monsters are doing their thing. It's really cool. But I hate Manila. If you watched previous videos, you know that. I hate Manila and I hate Shimu. Like those are the two rules of this channel. And the scenes with him, like it just makes the film drag for me. It's very slow whenever Manila's on the screen, just like, oh, like look at me, I'm jumping up and down, I'm eating this ginormous fruit that this girl can chuck like a football. Like, well, she needs to replace Patrick Mahomes on the Chiefs because what homegirl has got like she's got an arm. But yeah. Other than that, there's not much else to talk about for this film. Ooh, I mean, I like Kamunga. I I don't like him as like a main villain necessarily, but Kamunga is like a side monster that would have been cool. But just a very underwhelming main villain. So number 31, Godzilla versus Hedorah. This movie I really want to like. Like if there was a movie on this list that I'm just like, please like go into it and like it. And I try every time that I rewatch this film. I don't like it. Like it's hard to like I don't know, it just tries so hard to be different, and like the weird psychedelic imagery that's shown and the animation scenes, like it's all weird and the movie feels very cheap at times, and like it's stupid, and like all that it's got going for it is the stuff with Godzilla and Hedorah. Like the main characters aren't good. Nothing about the movie is actually good other than Godzilla and Hedorah. So like sure, if you want to watch Godzilla versus Hedorah for Godzilla versus Hedorah, that's fine. Just skip to the end scene. That's what I would personally do. But the rest of the movie is not great, and I just don't like see myself like going back to watch this very often. Number 30, Godzilla 1998. Man, what in the world was America doing? Like there was so much hype around this film, and like we just blew it. I wasn't alive yet, so I'm not a part of this. But like I like this film as a movie, but like as a Godzilla movie, there's a difference. Like, you as in a Godzilla movie, Godzilla has to be done right. Like, but as just a movie, like it's pretty good. As a monster movie, like it's all right, it's watchable. But as a Godzilla movie, no. Like, do not like it. Should not be like celebrated like some people do. It's a disgrace to the King of the Monsters. But if you like Zilla and you like it as a Zilla movie, then by all means, but not Godzilla. And like this problem will occur throughout this like ranking a couple of times where it's kind of like a difference between a movie and a Godzilla movie. Like where do they separate? And like what's the difference? So just kind of watch out for that. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. But the movie just takes like the the god out of Godzilla. Like he's no longer the king of the monsters. Like he's not even the king of New York. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure like Spider Man could have took him out or like Daredevil. Like there's just it's doesn't work. I don't like this movie. Number 29, Godzilla Tokyo SOS. Yes. This one might give me some hate, but yes, I am not a very big fan of this film. I know a lot of people love the Kuryu duology. It really just takes the great aspects of Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and just like, repeats them with a boring filter and slaps in Mothra. Like I don't know because Mothra in this movie is great. I really like the Mothra stuff, and the Godzilla and Kuryu fights are cool. But like they take away the good human cast and against Mechagodzilla, and they just spit all over that. And I don't know why they wouldn't have just stuck with the same characters from the previous one. Um, and it leads to a very underwhelming rematch between Kuryu and Godzilla, and Kuryu's way less cool in this one. Losing the zero, like the absolute zero cannon, was so weird, and he loses the big blue like cannons on his shoulders, which look awesome, and he replaces it with like very boring and generic silver ones. Take the design of Kuryu's worse. The actual power of Kuryu is worse. I don't like it. He's not. It's a way less cool version of Against Mechagodzilla. If they were gonna take away all this cool stuff from Against Mechagodzilla, should have just ended Against Mechagodzilla where they ended it and not done this movie. Number 28, Godzilla versus Megalon. This movie is very fun, and I also really like the four monsters in it. I just am not a fan of how goofy it is. I like Goofy and Godzilla, but not to this extent. I don't want to see Godzilla drop kicking. I don't find that fun. I don't find the weird stuff with Jet Jaguar and the kid. That type of stuff's not my thing. But I do like a sort of level of Goofy, and you'll see that later on in the list. But I hate how stupid they make Megalon. Like, no monster needs to be that just slow. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I swear he was like dropped on his head as a kid, and like he's such a cool monster too. But like he just doesn't use his brain. Same with Gigan in this film, which I mean, this Gigan wasn't necessarily the smartest monster in Godzilla vs Gigan, but like he wasn't stupid, and like the Jaguar is kind of weak for me, and while I like him as a concept, I just don't like his interpretation in this movie. I like him way more in the shorts that have been coming out for Godzilla's like birthday. Number 27, Godzilla 2014. Watching this film is like reading in the dark. Like it's impossible to see like what could have been an incredibly stunning blockbuster with very beautiful visuals. It wasn't at all. Like any anytime there was a cool scene, it was either dark or um it would cut away and we wouldn't even get to see it. I'm like, what? Why are you? Why? Like, I don't understand. Like, why would they do this? Like, they had to make a huge splash with this movie, and they did that by not even really showing off Godzilla. The thought process doesn't make sense to me, but um, at least like it has some good aspects to it. Like the actual fights that we get to see are pretty good. The human stuff, it's not the best, but after we've gotten some other stuff from the MonsterVerse, it's clearly better than what we have been getting, in my opinion, at least recently. Though this film killed off my goat Bryan Cranston way too early, and it kind of just, in my opinion, shows that like they almost didn't know what they were doing. Like, why would you kill off Bryan Cranston's character so early into a film? Same with like the dark scenes, and it's kind of just weird. It's a weird movie. I don't know what they were thinking when they made it. Number 26, Godzilla 2000. This movie is a lot like 2014 to me. Like, I don't know why they both seem like they could have been something really, really special, but just kind of fall flat. They both also have very underwhelming villains, in my opinion. They both also feature like, said villains getting the kiss of death, which I mean that's always fun. and it's always welcome in another Godzilla movie because I love just watching Godzilla, like, just bah. Um, but the CGI in this movie does not live like age well at all. It looks terrible, which is crazy because CGI in movies before it looks better. So I don't know what happened there, but it looks really bad. Okay, like Godzilla walking. You know the scene if you've seen the movie. Godzilla just like walking off of the shore. And I believe there's like military vehicles around it. Yeah, that scene. It's bad. But yeah, it both 2014 and 2000 are kind of the same thing to me. Like I would put 2000 a little over 2014 just because the one thing that 2000 has going for it for me is an incredible soundtrack, which in my opinion the soundtracks are very important for Godzilla. And so having a good soundtrack like that's very vital to me in my opinion. That makes a good Godzilla movie. Number 25, Godzilla X Kong The New Empire. I know. I mean, for you who watch my channel regularly, you may have expected this to be like in my bottom 5. Like you're probably shocked right now because I dig into this movie like every single video. That's not going to change. I'm still going to dig into it, but maybe not as bad as you would have thought I would. Surprisingly, I actually like this movie a lot, but I also dislike this movie a lot. Like it's kind of just they there it's not very in the middle. It's like it's really strong or it's really bad. And I'm gonna get into some of those things because this movie is very like uh very divisive movie for me. So I mean like this movie is a lot of fun, right? And has incredible action sequences and like I had so much hype going into this film. Like I also love Godzilla, Kong, and Scar King's designs. I think all three of them look great. Like I also like Suko. Like Suko's a fun child character. Like I think it's a child character done right, or a baby kaiju done right. Um, however, there is also a lot to dislike. The movie has a very underwhelming soundtrack, terrible human characters. Like in my opinion, prob- probably the second worst of of the MonsterVerse, other than Godzilla X Kong, and like the worst plot of the MonsterVerse. That's for sure. This movie's a freaking mess. Like the plot is a total mess and feels completely rushed, causing it to be like a mess of a rewatch. Like the first time watching it, it's like, ooh, this is fun. And then I watched it again and I'm like, oh gosh, like where's the pacing in this movie? Now that I already know how like I'm not like looking forward to what's gonna happen next. When's Godzilla gonna be here? Like after seeing it that second time, I'm like, oh, like this is not yeah, this it's not as yeah. As that's just how I feel, okay? Um, but plot aside, characters aside, the worst thing about this film, and you all knew it was coming, is Shimu. Okay, I hate Shimu. Like it's so stupid. Like I own no collectibles in this entire room full of collectibles. I own nothing of Shimu, and I don't ever plan to unless it's just to like fill that slot because like then I'll have the entire set from this movie except for Shimu, and it's like okay, I guess I'll get her. But like she is the ugliest design for a kaiju I have ever seen in the Godzilla franchise, maybe ever. Like even like ugly designs for monsters, I can see why they did it. Ultraman franchise has a lot of ugly designs for monsters, but like they're not bad designs. This is just ugly and bad. And like it's so sad that like she's supposed to be so powerful and like this it's supposed to have all this aura and all that, and it's just all lost as soon as you see her. And like she's like Godzilla is supposed to fear her, but then she's just Scar King's pet, and then becomes Kong's like dog or horse. Like what? Like I would have rather this movie been a Kong movie, if I'm being honest. No Godzilla, no Shimu, or even if you want to include Shimu, that's fine. But I think they should have just kept Godzilla away from it. And they should have just had Godzilla and Scar King, and Just have those two battle it out. Like obviously, I'm not saying I don't want to see Godzilla. Like would have much rather had them just work on two movies at the same time and do like Godzilla and Kong because I'm kind of tired of this them together in every single movie, but especially this movie. Like it's just a Kong movie with Godzilla in it, and that's just very disappointing. Number 24, Godzilla raids again. Guys, this movie gets way more hate than it deserves. Like I see people putting it in their bottom five, like bottom 10. I'm like, what? Like all the time too, and I do not understand that at all. Like, yes, this movie was rushed and outdated, but like I don't know, the movie just has such a charm to it. Like, it was the birthplace of Anguirus. Like, come on, and like features some of the best fights in the franchise, in my opinion. Which I know, like a lot of you probably won't agree with because I know a lot that's a big problem for the film to a lot of people is the sped up fights, but I actually like it. It's very like animalistic and feels real. Like they're fighting for really, really fighting for something. Like because if like two lions fight, right? They're not just gonna sit there and slowly move their paws, slowly like they're gonna be tearing into each other, like and ripping pieces of flesh out and like all over each other, mauling each other. It's very real, like it, and I like that. And I also really like the soundtrack for this film, as well as the human characters. I actually find really entertaining and good. So yeah, this is probably one of my more underrated movies for me. I don't know why everybody hates it. I personally really like it. Number 23, Destroy All Monsters. This movie has fallen down a lot for me in my rankings. I'm not gonna lie. Like as I've gotten older, like I still love this movie. It just I don't know, like it has an amazing final fight scene. Like the monster stuff is good. The problem is everything else just sucks. Like it's so slow and the pacing is all over the place. Like it's constantly stop and go with the monster action and the human plot is maybe like my least favorite in the franchise. Like, yes, Megaguirus is like the worst written, but like this one's so boring. Like, it's a snooze fest. And like the scene of the astronauts lasering the mind control ball. Oh my gosh, the one on the moon. It literally gives me PTSD. Like sometimes I'll be sitting here bored and I'll hear dun 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 bum 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 bum, and I'm just like, oh no, like what's happening? And like this movie is like it's just so terribly paced. Like in this movie, like for every attack on Tokyo with like Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Manda, like that was a highlight of the movie for me. That has an astronaut flying looking for metal rocks. It's terribly paced. Number 22, Godzilla, Ebra, Horror of the Deep. This one is really hard for me to pick because I really like this movie and I almost thought about putting it way higher on this list. But at the same time, like I'm not gonna pick a movie like Godzilla versus Gigan, or sorry, I'm gonna pick a movie like Godzilla versus Gigan or you know Godzilla against Godzilla to watch more often than this one. Like this movie is the first on this list though that I actually really like and come back to it quite often. I think this movie is like really, really underrated, the most underrated of the entire franchise. Uh, as it has one of the best human casts like of the entire series. The story for the humans is really good. Godzilla is like really good in this one. Very good uh character for Godzilla, which I mean it's because it was a Kong film, so they really kind of characterized Godzilla here. But like the fights are all like all right at best, so they're not bad. So like that's not hurting the movie or anything. Just like it's not necessarily helping the movie. And yeah, and then the red bamboo. I guess they're so cool, and one of my favorite human villains of the entire franchise. Number 21, Godzilla vs. Gigan. I really like this movie, which just goes to show how many of these films I think are amazing. Like Gigan is amazing in this film, and so is Anguirus. Like the Godzilla Tower is super iconic and one of the most unique things to come out of the show era. And just the use of stock footage does kind of hurt this film for me. Like I think it's so lazy that they really went back and used stock footage for stuff. Like just film it. Like how much more expensive could it possibly have cost? Or if you couldn't do everything, just don't do it. Like that's better than using stock footage, just in my opinion, because that doesn't help it in any sort of way. Obviously, Godzilla vs. Gigan isn't as bad about stock footage as some of the later entries, like what, what else? Like Megalon does it a lot. I'm trying to think. Does it stop after? Is it just Gigan and Megalon that do it? Oh, and then Godzilla's Revenge. Those three are really bad about the stock footage. And so actually, yeah, I guess Gigan is pretty bad now. I'm kind of sitting here thinking about it. But yeah, the stock footage hurts this film a lot for me. Though I really like all the monsters in it, and the fighting stuff with the monsters is good, and even the humans are all really entertaining. Just like I said, stock footage just is really unfortunate. Number 20, Godzilla 1984. This is, in my opinion, the worst of the solo Toho Godzilla films, but man, is it still an amazing watch. Like, the ending is super emotional, and the Super X is the coolest vehicle they've ever made. Well, actually, it's between the Super X and the Gatango. It might be the Gatango for me, but Godzilla looks freaking awesome in this film. Like going from Showa Godzilla, I couldn't even imagine going from Showa Godzilla to like this Godzilla for the first time ever. And as somebody who like is would have been watching them as it was coming out, like that's so cool. And like Godzilla looks freaking awesome in this film. Like I love the way they tease us with the design before they fully reveal something. Like I wish they would do that more often, honestly. I love not knowing what the monsters look like. I hate the Monsterverse. They don't like keep things more secret than what they do. Like I wish that um all of the trailers would be more like Godzilla 2014's, but they kind of were just didn't really reveal a whole lot about the film, and I really like that. But yeah, number 19, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. This movie is awesome. The fights with Godzilla and Kiryu are amazing and among some of the best in the franchise. And I love the story in this film. It's very emotional, and I feel bad for the main actress. But, it's still not at all the strongest in the Millennium era, and it definitely suffers from some different issues, but it's much better than Tokyo SOS and the previous mentioned Millennium era films. But as much as I love this film, it's crazy just how big of a jump like this film is to the next Millennium era film. You'll see in a little bit here. Number 18, Godzilla vs. Kong. Take what I just said in the last entry about how, I love all these films and yeah, just ignore it. Just from this like one film because trust me, I have a lot of bad things to say for this movie. The Kong side of the film is great, super entertaining. The characters are all amazing and super fun to watch. The Godzilla side, however, is a hot mess with awful characters with stories as bad as like they are. Godzilla himself in this film, however, man, just like chef's kiss with how they treat Godzilla in this movie. Godzilla, I mean, it is after watching Invincible season 3, the perfect representation is like Godzilla's conquest because I mean he just is there to just play with some food and he's just having fun. He looks super menacing, and it honestly might be like my favorite representation of the King of the Monsters in any film. Like I don't know, he just they make him seem so tough in this movie, and like he's I don't know. I really like the personality that they gave him in this film, and I wish that he would have kept it going into like Godzilla X Con, but I feel like he kind of lost that, even though he's now way stronger. I don't even know. Whoever's writing the MonsterVerse, I feel like it's just a mess. But back on top, um, so going back to Godzilla versus Kong, and on top of everything with Godzilla, Kong is also amazing, and the battle axe is something that like should be a part of Kong lore forever going forward. Kong should always have the battle axe no matter what. Um, Like, the fights in this film are just top notch. Like, the fight in Hong Kong might arguably be my favorite monster fight ever. And then Mechagodzilla is also great in this film and feels super powerful. Just ignore that coffee is what causes him to lose, please. Like, I know that I tried to. Number 17, Godzilla versus King Kong. This movie is just funny. Like, it's to me comedy and Godzilla done right. Like, I was saying earlier that I didn't like the funnier, like, cheesy Godzilla stuff, but this is what I do like. This is when it's done right, in my opinion. It's still serious while being like goofy and lighthearted fun. The fights are all good, and the ending is awesome. Like, the end fight is once again another one of those like best fights in the franchise for me. The movie never has a dull moment, and the honestly the characters, I mean, they're nothing like super crazy, but they're pretty good. And then on top of all this greatness, it has an absolutely and probably the best part about this movie, absolutely amazing and iconic soundtrack. Ooh, the soundtrack in this film is just like arguably leagues above the rest, at least until we get to like the Millennium era. Number 16, Invasion of Astro Monster. This movie gets the crowning achievement of best human cast, and it's not even close. I'm sorry, it's just not. Like, every character in this movie is amazing and super entertaining. Like, this is the only Godzilla movie where I actually care about the entire main cast. Wait, I take that back. There's one other film that I'm going to talk about later. I'm rooting for them all. Like, the standout in this movie is Glenn by far, who is just so great and funny, like, and literally me in the situation. Minus the low-key like 1960s sexism he's got going on. That's not me. But he seems just so like nonchalant. He's just like, "Hey, like, yeah, that girl over there, she's an alien, but it don't matter. I still love her. That's my girl." Just like, Glenn's a goat. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. If there's anything to take away from this video, it's that Glenn is the goat. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. But like, I don't know, the monster action is also good. Like, unfortunately, there's not a lot of it, but the couple scenes that there is, it's always really good and iconic stuff. Like, both fights, I'm like, this is like super iconic. Like, Godzilla dancing, and then the fight in that little village. I'm like, oh sheesh. I don't know. I really like the movie, and of course, it's got Rodan in it, which is instantly gonna boost like any movie up at least like at least an extra movie. Rodan's my goat. All right. Oh, I mentioned the dancing scene earlier, but I mean, like, that it will never get old. I mean, all you gotta do is just put Godzilla dancing like that in front of me, and I'm gonna have a good old time. So this movie gets the number 16 spot. Number 15, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. This movie has grown on me so much in the last year. Like, I used to not really like this one. Like, if I were to be asked a year ago to do this ranking, this movie would have been like down with Space Godzilla. I'm gonna be honest. Lucky for me though, I have really come to appreciate this movie, and honestly, I think it's one of the only movies that have moved up on the list that I've already watched. Um, Honestly, I think a lot of them that I originally put higher up, I've actually moved down more. Like, this one's the only one that I've like has moved up substantially. Um, but like, I don't know, there's just so much going for this movie. Like, first of all, I think it's the most iconic Godzilla movie. Like, there's like 15 different scenes that I'm like, bro, like, I could imagine that in my head easy. Like, you could show me a picture of that, and I'd be like, that's from this. Well, maybe me, like, I could probably see like every scene from that film and know, but like somebody that's not as big of a Godzilla fan as me, they could be like, oh, like, that's from Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Oh, that's Mecha King Ghidorah. Ooh, like, you know what my point is. And the designs in this movie, they all are like top notch. And like the stare off between Godzilla and Ghidorah, oh my gosh, It's so cool. Like just watching like these huge towering monsters stare across from each other. Um, Plus Godzilla, like arguably, is the best design he's ever had. I'm a huge 91 fan. I honestly might say it's my favorite design in the Heisei era. And Ghidorah, like, of course, looks amazing as well. Like, it was just a recipe for success. Add in Mecha King Ghidorah and a soundtrack that's crazy work, like, literally from the heavens. And, like, I was sold on this movie after a few recent rewatches. I'm not gonna lie. Number 14, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. As much as I was sold on King Ghidorah, it's still not enough to beat Mechagodzilla 2. This movie is like I don't know, like it's just crazy to think that this movie is in the same era as like Destroya and Biolante and like how are all these bangers all like next to each other? Like I don't understand, but like making Rodan look this cool as he does is always gonna get a movie higher up on the list with me. Um, and like this movie gives Rodan an amazing redesign and fire breath. Like, come on. And like I would do anything to get Rodan to like always have the fire breath that he does in this movie. And like Mechagodzilla also has a redesign that I love, not as much as the Showa era, but they were never gonna like replicate how good that one is. And I do think people overhate like the redesign for Mechagodzilla too. I mean, sure, it's not better than Kuryu or the Showa, of course. Like it was never going to be, but still I don't think it's bad. And then like the fights are all really good, especially the opening one with Godzilla and Rodan. That fight is like another one of those really good fights. And this film also has another legendary soundtrack that always has me coming back for more. Number 13, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. This movie is a masterpiece. Well, not the best like movie. I think it's a classic that is just super iconic and like it just screams Godzilla. Like the human plot is actually pretty good too, and fun to watch. But the kaiju really steal the show in this one. Like it's some of the strongest representations of any kaiju's ever. Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah, they all get done so well in this film. Like the build to reveal of Godzilla, Rodan, and Ghidorah is amazing. You're like, it's a slow building train the entire time, and then you get to that final fight, and it's like, yes, we made it. And it's one of my favorite paced movies. Like it just keeps progressively picking up, picking up. It is that big moment in the beginning, gets you excited, then kind of just dulls down, and then whoo, you're here. And like the fights in this film are amazing between Rodan and Godzilla, and then the four in the final battle like are both so good. And this one holds like a special place in my heart, as it was probably like my childhood go-to movie, if I'm being honest. Number 12, Godzilla vs. Biollante. Ah, yes. And now we've arrived at the best of the best. And no better place to start than Godzilla vs. Biollante. This movie is a masterpiece, and in my opinion, like the best all around made film in the Heisei era, when removing like my bias from it. Between the amazing set designs and the behemoth that is Biollante, on top of that, it has such a great story and arguably like the best characters in the Heisei era. The fight scenes are super impactful and mesmerizing to watch. Like overall, I believe this film was up there with like -1 Gojira and Shin Godzilla and like quality level. And I just personally like prefer other films though over this one. Number 11, Terror of Mechagodzilla. And one of those films I personally prefer is none other than Terror of Mechagodzilla. I am a huge fan of Showa Mechagodzilla, as I've already mentioned, and this list proves it. Like, this movie is just fun and like the type of goofy that I talked about earlier that I do like. Like, it reminds me a lot of Godzilla versus King Kong. Uh, Mechagodzilla is the coolest he has ever been in this film, and Titanosaurus is one of my favorite kaiju. Godzilla is also great in this film, showing off his incredible hand to hand combat, out here looking like Mike Tyson. And the human story is even pretty good in my eyes, with a love story that I actually kind of like. It really works for me. And we have made it to the top 10. Number 10, Godzilla vs. The Thing. We are finally at the top 10, and I think this is one that might get me in some trouble. Yes, I do have this movie kind of low in terms of, what the average person would probably put it at. Uh, I just find other ones to be personally more enjoyable, but do not shoot yet, okay? I absolutely love this movie and find it to be one of the best of actually the best of the early Showa era and one of the best in the entire Showa era. Like the character aspect of this film is on fire with a super memorable cast. It's top 5 casts in human plot for me, and this one is. And on top of that, we get one of the greatest designs ever for Godzilla and the introduction of Mothra into this. And then the fights are way more advanced than anything we had seen up to this point, and they're crazy. Like the fact that they were able to manage Mothra the way that they do, it's so cool. And this movie, in my eyes, if I'm being honest, along with Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, which is crazy, 1964. I don't know what Toho was cooking up in their little lab, but they changed Godzilla forever that year with this movie and Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Is I would say those two movies are the turning point of the Godzilla franchise, which makes Godzilla who he is today. Number 9, Shin Godzilla. This movie, I will admit, has fallen down my list some in the last year, but it's not that I necessarily like this movie less, just that I appreciate other ones more. Shin Godzilla is still the coolest Godzilla in my opinion. Uh, his heat ray is the best in the franchise, and his evolution is such a great idea. However, I don't know. I just don't like the slow pace of the film. In the middle, while we wait for Godzilla to come back, we just bounce around from office to office. It's just boring and slows the movie down. But other than that, I love this movie, and it will probably forever be a staple in my top 10. Number 8, Gojira. Oh boy. Oh boy. So how do I say this without getting hate comments in the comment section? Uh I'm not the biggest fan of this film. I'm just gonna come out and say it, okay? I know. Please don't jump me if you see me at G Fest, okay? It's just not my thing. I know it's the original, and don't get me wrong. Like that's how I got into the number 8 spot. Like and I think it's a great movie. It's perfect. It's a perfect Godzilla movie, but it's not a perfect Godzilla movie for me. I know. I know. Okay. Please don't hurt. I'm speaking really philosophical right now. But I will always prefer Godzilla movies that have another monster in them, and also movies with color. So both those things just really hurt this film for me and knock it down. Like there's just nothing more for me to say. I just I'm sorry. I still really like this movie. Just I don't know. For me, there's very little rewatchability, and I do love this movie. Like I said, and the design of the original Godzilla is amazing. I mean, I have the gigantic series sitting on my desk. I do really like Godzilla, the original. Just the movie itself, I don't know. I'm weird about it. Okay, and I just don't ever find myself wanting to rewatch this one, and that knocks it down for me. Number 7, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This right here is exactly what I want from the Monsterverse. A serious Godzilla with a real threat in Ghidorah, an amazing soundtrack that stays close to its Japanese roots, and designs that blow your socks off. Yes, the humans are cheesy, and Emma Russell is the worst villain ever, but I don't even care. This movie rocks. It's it's just plain fun and like great monster action. And like in my opinion, this is like the only film in the entire series that like got love and attention in the Monsterverse. To clarify, when I say series, um, but like to get love and attention from like an actual Godzilla fan that's making it. I don't know. Like I just feel like this one had so much more soul pumped into it than 2014 Godzilla vs Kong and Godzilla: The New Empire. Those feel like, oh, we're making this Godzilla movie to make money. This one felt like we're making this Godzilla movie because I'm a fan of Godzilla and you're a fan of Godzilla. So let's enjoy it together. And I think he succeeded with that because I love this movie. Um, and I know like a lot of people don't really like this one. It's a very like divisive movie. Some people uh love it, other people hate it. But like I don't know. I really like this one. And like plus the introduction of Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah in America is super cool and something that like we didn't really know if that would ever be possible. And now, now we have 500 million YouTube videos talking about is Gigan coming, is Space Godzilla coming, is Biollante coming? Probably not. Okay, let's just be real. But maybe. Um, but like this was the most excited I've ever been to see a Godzilla movie in theaters, and I got everything that I ever wanted with it. So I'm happy. Number 6, Godzilla versus Mothra: Battle for Earth. This is personal bias at its like best right here, okay? Like I know this is not for everybody. Um in fact, I know there are a lot of people that like would say this is the worst Heisei era film. To them, I say you don't know what fun is because come on, like we have the best Mothra design. Ooh, I probably just got like shot through a TV screen there. Um and like Batra, like come on. Because you all know I am a huge Batra fan and like I watch this movie all the time just to see him. Uh, and like on top of great designs, the film has an incredible soundtrack and some of the best fight scenes in the entire franchise. The monsters all have so much character in this film. Like I don't know, then the way they all interact with each other, it's perfect. And then like the face turn of Batra at the end of the movie, you can't tell me you don't love that stuff, okay? And I don't know, like I think it's the only movie ever where I find myself rooting against Godzilla, which is crazy. But I don't know, it's like the Mothra and Batra becoming like friends after hating each other. I'm like, man, I hope they beat Godzilla. Which you'll never hear me come out of my mouth like for any other character. But yeah. Oh, and then the human characters that like are funny and like while at times pretty cheesy, I won't lie. Especially in the English dub. Ooh, but like I don't know. I find them to have a charm to them. Like and be among some of the best in the Heisei era. This movie at one point was like even pushing for my number one spot. I won't even lie to you. So at least be happy it's only in number 6. But yeah, number 5, Godzilla minus one. This movie is the best movie that Godzilla is featured in, if that makes sense. Going back to the good movie and good Godzilla movie. This is another movie that really struggles with that difference. Um, it's like the quality of this film is unmatched throughout the entire series. It stands alone as like the only film that I would say is like a cinematic masterpiece, like something that like should be raved about by critics, something that should be, and it was, and it shows. And then like, um, the problem is though, like I am ranking my favorite Godzilla movies, and like this is not it for two specific reasons actually. One, because there isn't another monster across from Godzilla, which I've already talked about earlier. I just prefer whenever there's Godzilla fighting another monster. And two, I don't know, like the appearances that Godzilla did make, they're really cool, but they just like, don't do it for me. Like I don't know, the Ginza stuff did, but that final act with Godzilla, it doesn't do it for me. Like the stuff in the water does, sure, but that wasn't really showing off Godzilla a whole lot. And I just think that it's a Godzilla movie, and we should have gotten more Godzilla. And that's really the only thing holding this movie back. I do think that if we get that sequel that's rumored with like another monster in it, then that will probably become my favorite Godzilla movie of all time because Godzilla minus one would be if there was another monster to tango with. Number four, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. We have finally gotten to my favorite film and the show era. We're getting so close. I'm so tired. And this movie has skyrocketed in my rankings so much that it's crazy. Showa Mechagodzilla is like my favorite representation of any monster not named Godzilla. And I love just watching him unleash barrages of missiles everywhere and just like blowing everything up. He is just such a menace. Like, and then on top of that, King Caesar is also a highlight of this film, as he like, has so much character and incredible suit design. And then like fake Godzilla, bro, you want to talk about menaces? This dude literally broke Angus's jaw in half. Like, who does that? Bro is like number one up over here, trying to act as Godzilla, killing his best, well, not killing, but like breaking his best friend's jaw, trying to frame it as him, and then turning around and like making Godzilla bleed. Like, making Godzilla was on some demon time in this film, but I just absolutely love like every step of the film. It has a great human cast, and the action sequences, even with the humans, are pretty top tier. I won't even lie. This film is a serious treat. Number three, Godzilla Final Wars. Speaking of action, this film screams action as the entire film is just all action from the monsters to the humans to the military. Like, this is the most hype Godzilla movie ever made, and it's a perfect 50th anniversary film, and I can only hope we get something just like this for his 100th. The human cast, you know how I said Invasion Astro Monster? This is that other movie that I was talking about. Godzilla Final Wars is tied for the best human cast. Like, um, I mean, this film has Don Fry in it, and his performance is like one of the best. Like, it's exceptional. I'm not gonna tell him that it's not. That man is terrifying. And then Ozaki and Kazama are just some of the coolest people ever. And their fight on the motorcycle is like, who fights on a motorcycle? What is happening? And like, there was no reason for all that to go that hard. And then like you have the monster stuff. All the redesigns are, in my opinion, really great. And there's a few exceptions. Like I don't like Hedorah's and I don't like King Caesar's, but other than that, I think all the redesigns are really good. Um, and oh, plus we get my King Monster X. Mm. And then like Gigan shows up, and again with two great designs, and Godzilla himself is at like some of his best he's ever been, just trotting through the world, like beating up monsters, like it's just clocking in for work. Like what? And oh, and then the soundtrack and the special effects are like some of the best. I'm like, what is happening? Uh, I used to actually not like this movie, and I know a lot of other people like don't like this movie. But after rewatching it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, where did I go so wrong that I didn't like this movie? Because it's fire. Um, but yeah, like, oh, and then watching this movie at G Fest, like, is one of my favorite memories ever. So like, this is always gonna hold a special place in my heart. So there's a lot of bias with this one as well. Number two, Godzilla versus Destroya. I feel wrong like not putting this in my number one if I'm being honest, but there's just one film that like I prefer. And like Godzilla vs. Destroya is the perfect finale to the perfect era of Godzilla. It just sucks not being on my number one. But like Destroya is the final boss of Godzilla forever at this point, in my opinion. And like, the designs of both Godzilla and Destroya are amazing. And then Junior Godzilla is like a surprising highlight for me. Like Destroya is the perfect villain, and it's truly like scary throughout the film, and like the soundtrack is perfect. And I mean, this the movie is just like cinema, like peak cinema, except for one thing. The only lacking part of this film is the human cast. All right, like if you're gonna have a super emotional movie about Godzilla dying, you probably should have put characters that we've seen with this Godzilla before, not like an entirely new cast that has no connection and is honestly very weak and some of the worst human actors in the entire Heisei era. But other than that, I love this movie. Number one, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, all monsters attack. Oh, I did it. I got to number one. I'm almost done. I can go get a drink of water. And you all can finally stop listening to my voice for the last hour. Perfect! Whew. Wait, perfect. That's what I have to say about this film. It's just perfect. Like, it's my favorite Godzilla design, favorite soundtrack, favorite story, favorite origin story for Godzilla, favorite main lead. This film is the perfect Godzilla movie, and in my opinion, has zero weaknesses. The Mothra and Ghidorah designs are both magnificent, and oh, Baragon is just perfect in this film. Like everything about Baragon is perfect. I wish the Baragon would have made it to the final fight and have all three of them against Godzilla, but I'll take what I can get. And then, like, I know there's some complaints about this movie about like Ghidorah and how like he's not very strong, and I don't agree with that. Like, one, the movie explains why Ghidorah isn't strong. Like, I mean, like Ghidorah's still technically like a kid. Of course, kid Ghidorah is gonna lose to, you know, big angry Godzilla. It's what's gonna happen. And but it also, in my opinion, makes it easier to root for Ghidorah, and so I really don't see a problem with it. But this is by far my favorite Godzilla movie. But like second and third really could give it a run for its money. All three of these, my top three, are like borderline interchangeable, but like not really. They're I love these three so much, and you can kind of see like up there. You can't see. Okay, yeah, there. Well, you can't see it at all. But like my top shelf, my main shelf has these three movies: Final Wars, Burning Godzilla, and GMK. So yeah, so that is my rankings. Let me know in the comments down below how you would rank the movies, and like I'm interested to hear from all of you. So please leave a comment below. I would love to hear like what your favorite movies are, what you would change about mine, maybe what your least favorite movie is, what your most underrated movie is, things like that. Just be civil, please. Like remember, this is my list at the end of the day. Like I'm not coming at any of you. I'm not saying your opinion's wrong. I'm just saying this is what my opinion is. Okay, so and I would love to hear all of yours as long as you're civil and. But I would also love to hear some of your Godzilla hot takes. It can be about literally anything, people. I just need hot takes for a future video, please. So yeah, um, I think that is all, and I hope you all enjoyed. Like if you did, leave a like, subscribe. I feel like I've earned this. Got an hour long video for y'all. Okay, this was a lot of work. I'm tired. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.